Hey, this is Aaron, the Metal Theologian. So we got a new chair since last time I made a video, so like it feels a fucking weird, you know? Anyway, well, I'm kind of thirsty, but first, let me talk about what I'm listening to here right now, because this is a fucking underrated record, if you ask me. There's this classic right here, Power from Hell by Onslaught. It's really not all that hard to find. Really simple cover. This is the Children of the Revolution press. There's another pressing of it on Pussmort, like a US license of it that had some like coloring on the cover or something like that. But yeah, man, this fucking record is 85. And for as heavy as it is, like as early as it was, I don't know, and people don't talk about this record enough. I mean, they were using the fucking term death metal, right? And it's like, this wouldn't sound like death metal by any modern standards, you know? But there you have that. In fact, I really like this here. I'm showing all the shit off for John Bit Bump Boom, because now I have someone who appreciates all the stupid shit too, but right there it says death, metal at its heaviest. Fucking classic, what a great line. I'm actually going to turn this up a little bit before I even open up my drink. Yeah, that's better. I could barely hear it before. Yeah, the other thing is this is a UK band, and there were so few like really good bands from Britain in the second half of the 80s, but Onslaught was fucking just amazing. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this is their magnum opus right here. They got a different singer for their follow-up record, The Force, and it was still a really good record. I mean, I have it, but it sounded like a lot more of a conventional sort of thrash record, whereas this one really sort of has its own thing going, and there's a real sort of darkness to it and that, but kind of freaked me out a little bit in the 80s, but man, I love this record all the way back then. So, goddamn. And then after this, is the one that you probably saw around more, where they got Steve Grimmett and did a cover of Let There Be Rock, and they got all goofy, just like Acid Rain and those other bands. It's really kind of a shame because they were just so fucking good, and they just kind of pissed it away. So I don't know what they were thinking, but I hope they made some money at least. Anyway, this is the Americana brand, Honey Lime Ginger Ale. I don't know if I'm really in the mood for this, but we'll see, man. There's another one in there. That's one that's left over from Christmas. And I just couldn't face the idea of opening that one tonight. It was just too, like, I don't know. Just has a little more bite to it than I imagine. I mean, after Blenheim's, like, every ginger ale seems kind of ordinary, but there's always a good taste to it. It's a good drinking one, and it's a serious ginger ale too. It's not like Verner's or something like that where it just tastes like sugar, you know. You can taste some ginger in this shit. So, has extracts of lime and ginger and pure organic honey in addition to cane sugar. So there you go. So yeah, this isn't bad at all, man. I'm not the ginger ale guy I used to be, but every once in a while one really hits the spot. I don't know if I'm really there tonight, but whatever. So I got a few new metal things here that I've been listening to kind of a lot. I mean, so before I even go into those, I'm going to pull out another one first. This is one that I showed in my last 5 random records video, and I kind of gave a little bit of short shrift because I hadn't listened to it, and when I played it, I wasn't really in the mood for it. I just sort of got it because, you know, I wanted to have it, but I never really gave it a chance. So a few people kind of chimed in the comments after I showed this and pulled it out and if I did one of these with it. I listened to this record again. This is a really good record, and I'll tell you, I'll stand by everything I said before about how, like, the whole money cover is kind of off-putting. I mean, it looks like a punk record, you know, the whole, like, resisting success thing, and, I mean, and the guy's DRI shirt doesn't help either, you know. It's sort of like, okay, great. We like punk rock, you know what I mean? We're sort of, it's 86, which I guess is a little bit early, but it's like, okay, the metal guys and the punk guys aren't fighting anymore now. They're like all friends and shit, which, you know, Anthrax sort of ushered in. But this is still a really cool record, man. And, like, I don't know, this is the sort of record that I would flip right by back in the day. Shit, I flip by it right now, you know what I mean, in my own fucking collection. But this is a really good record. It's speedy, it's thrashy, and the tunes are just really good, man. I mean, I don't think there's a clunker on this thing. I don't know if there's anything on this thing that's really a standout, like, look, I paused at the same time the band did. Like, I don't know, you know, some of the standout tracks, like, I'm just drawing a fucking blank, like, Madhouse, or something like that on, Spreading the Disease, but this is still a really good record, and so, thanks to everyone who kind of chimed in and said, oh man, that's a great record, I love that one, blah blah, because y'all are right. So next I'm going to show is, this 10-inch by Nitro called Lethal, which I kind of heard of, but finally found one, pretty cheap actually, doing a rock. And I don't have a whole lot of metal 10 inches. I don't have a whole lot of 10 inches anyway. I mean, if I collected 78s, I suppose I would, but you don't see a whole lot. This is a really cool record, man. I think there's like an expanded edition of this too, but it's kind of middle of the road, like heavy metal shit. It sounds later than it is actually. This is like 82 or 83. I want to say 82. I just looked at the label before, but I forgot. Well, fuck it, I'll show off the label. What the hell, man? God damn. So you got that cool looking private label there. Shit. I'm dropping fucking. God damn it. Alright, making an ass out of myself here. Yeah, it's 82. So this could have been like 84, 85, and it would have sounded right at home. The other thing is the hooks on this record are really good, you know what I mean? It's like relatively catchy songwriting anyway, but it doesn't sound overly like glammy or produced or anything like that. And the hooks are good, but they're not like obvious or anything like that, you know what I'm saying? It's just a really cool record. So I'm really glad I grabbed that one. Now this record is kind of comparable. It's funny, I'd heard this before and I remembered liking it more than I actually did, but this is Gonna Raise Hell by Sinful. And this is another kind of private one, although it had pretty wide distribution. It's on the Shades label. Actually out of Britain, though, but I could have sworn this was an American band. Maybe someone knows more than I do. There you go, you see that? Actually, maybe that isn't private, because I think I might have something else on Shades now that I'm thinking about it. This is Shad 3. I wonder if that first Chariot record might have been on Shades. I think it was, now that I'm thinking about it. Okay, so I'll take back what I said about being private. It was a tiny, like, micro-label type of deal, you know? So, if I did a label feature on these guys, it'd probably be like 10 minutes if I had them all, which I'm pretty sure I don't. But besides the fact these guys look really entertaining, especially the dude in the middle. And check out that guy on the end. Fuck. Look at that fucking face he's making. That's pretty classic, man. This is a kind of middle-of-the-road record. It's really cool up until the last song. The synth on some of the songs, like Burn Your Eye, they have a keyboard player full-time, right? And it gets a little bit cheesy at times, but other times it sort of adds like these like noises and shit to it that actually are really kind of charming and cool. But the last song on here is just a fucking clunker, man. Teenage Overdose. They should have made this a 4-track EP instead of a 5-track. I swear it would have been a better record, man. They should have just left that one in their live set so I could just pretend it didn't exist. Yeah, just a fucking corny ass like pop song. It's really bullshit, but the rest of this thing is solid, man. If you see this thing cheap, you gotta grab it, because it's kind of a little, maybe a gem is putting it strongly, but it's close enough to being a gem that it's worth keeping around, you know? Here's another I've been keeping an eye out for a while. This is Call Off the Dogs by Steel Vengeance. It's funny, I played this like last week or something like that. I had a friend visiting in town from Boise, and we like sat around and listened to like metal and prog all week. It was kind of funny. These were like alternated sessions. It was mostly metal during the day and prog at night, which just seemed to make sense. So, because I like a little metal during the day to get me going, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, this one kind of has a little bit of a speedy feel to it, kind of a thrashy feel, but not really, but the songs aren't particularly fast, really. I mean, they're plenty fast, but it's not like, you know, I don't know, it's not like the pace of a thrash band, it's more like the color of a thrash band, if you know what I'm saying. And, yeah, the first time I listened to it didn't make much of an impression, but the second time I listened to it, I was like hanging laundry or something like that, and it just sounded great to me. Jury still had a little bit on the singer, but fuck it, you know something, I listened to Sinful right after it, and the singer for this band's better than the singer for Sinful, so, you know, I'm not gonna bitch. The singer for Sinful's a little bit wussy. This guy's like, you know, pretty meaty and shit. Yeah, it's kind of a lousy back picture too. Might as well show that off though while I'm doing it. And this is on the Black Dragon label. So if I'm not mistaken, this is their first album. It's from '85. That's a pretty cool one. So here's another one that was okay. I mean, I'd probably give this about a 5 or 6 out of 10. Violent Breed by Rocks. I've been curious about this one for a while, and I finally got it. I'm really heavy on the UK bands today, huh? If I have 2, I'm heavy though. Let's face it. I mean, if I'm not doing like an early '80s 45s thing, then I mean, because this one I think is 85, and by 85 I was kind of over there. I kind of tend to think these songs were like half good and half leave me cold a little bit. I like that it has a little bit of a darker vibe though, this one. And it's not worth keeping around. This other one that I also got at the same time, if I can find it. Yeah. This one is pretty fucking corny. I mean, it's not awful. But I mean, the song's called Sweet 16. That's like your first, like, strike right there. I mean, my God, I mean, how many fucking songs called something about being 16 do we need? I mean, I don't know, maybe it would have bugged me less when I was 20, but now I'm just like, come on, guys, you know? Well, anyway, this one's earlier. This was like 83. And, I don't know, I give him an A for effort, but I give him about a C- on execution, man. I found this record really kind of cloying and, not really very enjoyable. You know, it's not the worst fucking thing ever, but this one is, yeah, this is a German band, man. This is another one that I think is underrated, dude. This is Katisa. And I have the first EP, which I think I showed in a really early video of mine, like right after I got it. And then Die Tonight I've had a long time. That's a great fucking record, man. But this one's really cool, too. Like, it peters out a little bit towards the end of side 2. But, man, the songs on here are just fucking heavy and well executed. And not quite epic. Like, it's just this side of epic. It's sort of reaching out for that, but doesn't quite grasp it. But I think that's kind of where they want to be, because they're comfortable in that space. You know what I'm saying? It's like solid songwriting. It sort of hangs out here. And it doesn't quite, you know, do this whole bit thing, but it just works, man. So, I don't know, maybe that cover is a little bit of false advertising. But, this is a great band, man. If you see anything by Katisa, you should grab it. It's another band that I was scared away from, because I was like, man, I'm not going to buy a fucking record by a band that took their goddamn name from a brand of cheap rum. But I was wrong, man, because Katisa is fucking fantastic, man. Seriously, I think I have all their records now, and they're all great. They're all kind of different from each other. Like, Die Tonight is probably the heaviest, and the most sort of like straight-ahead metal. This one kind of has a little more epic shit going on than that. And then the first one is more sort of like hard rocky, but it's just one solid record after another, man. I wish they had made more, but in a way I'm glad they quit while they were ahead, because there's no Cuddy Sark record that you have to be like, oh shit. When I say buy any Cuddy Sark record you find, I don't have to like qualify with, oh wait a minute though, this one over here, this one really sucks. This is when they went commercial and like added keyboards and shit, and you know, there's no record like that, so it's good stuff. Here's another one I've been curious about for a long time. There's a Finnish band called 09. Which is produced by Ian Gillan, which can be good and can be terrible, I found. Actually, I don't think his production jobs are ever particularly good. Just like hand and selecting talent is okay. I really wanted to like this band because they were Finnish, and I like the fact they had a keyboard player. Popoff in his book, Martin Popoff, compares these guys to White Spirit over and over, and I kind of hate to do that because it just seems so obvious. Like the band was like they're the Deep Purple, like. Goddamn, the band that was covering like more or less Deep Purple in the bands that were basically doing that sound with that instrumentation in the 80s is really just these two as far as I know. But man, this record just sucks. It's just cheesy. I mean, the first 2 songs on side 1 weren't bad, and the last song on side 1 wasn't bad. But the 3 in the middle, there's 6 songs on side 1. 3, I Don't Miss Your Love, Somebody Help Me, a Lady on the Shore. Just shit. Like fucking bad chorus going into bad verse going into a bad chorus. I was like, man, I'm done with this fucking record. So, I mean, I'm going to file it away and maybe pull it out again someday. But man, I didn't even make it to side 2, I gotta say. This fucking thing, it looks cool, like it might be some weird occult thing. I mean, Blank Verse isn't a very good title, but, you know, and like I said, man, I kind of have a soft spot for anything Finnish, but not this record, man. 82, there are all sorts of reasons to be forgiving, but I just couldn't find enough forgiveness in my heart for them. And speaking of forgiveness in my heart, just got my hands on a copy of this, and I am fucking happy to find this thing. You know, I actually heard a great insult about this record. I had heard that it wasn't really very good, this record. I had heard that New Birth record, which I think is a total piece of shit. I had heard that this one wasn't that great either, but I heard it was a little bit better. So there's a record dealer friend of mine in San Francisco who had a couple copies of this in his distro. He had them priced pretty high, too, so I was kind of curious. I was like, hey man, I pulled it out when I was at his place. I was like, hey man, is this record any good? And he was like, well, it's very rare. And I said, well, yeah, but is it any good? And he was like, it's very rare. I was like, okay. So I actually put it back at the time. I didn't even listen to it, you know? But I finally got this. I actually got this for kind of a steal. And man, I like this record a lot. It's not the heaviest thing ever. It kind of has some cornball moments, but man, it's sincere. It's earnest. I don't know. They definitely seem to have some Christian themes going on, even though Scott said they're not a Christian band, but they play those off well. The whole thing, it just doesn't come off as, you know, I don't know, it's sincere, you know what I mean? And the songs are well put together, it's well played, the production is really just right in that it's probably just a hair below good production, which is kind of a perfect spot, if you know what I'm, sort of the aesthetic I'm trying to get at. So, yeah, John showed this recently, too. His second name drop in one video. Bit Bop Boom. There you go. Subscribe to him if you're not, because he's fucking one of the best guys in the PC. He's only done a few videos, but he's fucking awesome. Yeah, it's funny, because right after he made a big deal out of this record, I happened to get my hands on one. But I'm really glad. If you happen to luck into a copy of this as I did, man, fucking snap it up, because it's a fun record. So here's another one that my friend brought me. A different record dealer friend, not the one I was just talking about, but the one in Colombia. I talked with him about Omen, and I said, you know, Battle Cry didn't really do it for me like I was hoping it would, and I think I have Nightmares too, but he was like, oh, the one you need is Warning of Danger. That one's fucking great. So, finally got one. I mentioned the guy that, you know, I was like, oh shit, you dog, you found the top 10. He just fucking brought it for me, so, you know, I gave him some shit in return for it, but it was really cool of him to hook me up like that. And he might start making videos, by the way, so I'll start mentioning by name and like plugging his channel and shit. But in the meantime, he can stay anonymous. Unless you read all my comments, in which case it'll probably become obvious. Yeah, anyway, the jury's still out on this record, man. I listened to it twice. The sound of it is cool, and it's well done, but I'm not sure if it really delivers for me. It doesn't quite give me that special feeling, you know what I mean? I think this might turn out to be a creeper of a record for me, and I don't even think I'd show it yet. I think I'd like play it a few more times, but you know, the shit sits around and I leave it out until I show it off, and you know, it's just kind of been sitting there for too long. I'm gonna allow myself to put it away, so that's kind of a question mark of a record. It's definitely worth a listen, unequivocally. And I might freak out over it later on, but I'm not quite there yet. Now this one I'm kind of freaking out over. This is another great one, man. I had actually never heard this before I got this. This is Mystic Force, Shipwrecked with the Wicked. And apparently Mr. Greeno knows all about these guys. Yeah, this is 2 songs. It's late. It's 1990. But man, this is some shit that's like, it's like amateur epic metal is what it is. It's like epic, but it doesn't have like sort of like fully developed, like fully fledged sort of epic thing going on like Manowar would or something like that. It's more like these guys wrote these songs, and that's how they wrote them, and that's how they performed them. But they didn't have Eric Adams singing. They had some guy who was just, you know, belting it out, but just not that, like, didn't have that kind of trained, like, quality to his voice and shit. And they were playing this, they were playing their asses off, but they were playing in their garage. And the results are just fucking awesome, man. I mean, that cover's awesome for starters, right? But the 2 songs was just perfect, man. There's another record that has more of their stuff on it, which I've kind of wanted for a while, but haven't gotten. has these two songs and some demos and shit. I'm almost afraid to hear it after hearing this, you know what I mean? Because sometimes you hear a 12-inch that's just like a perfect statement all by itself, and we start adding more words to it in the form of more songs, it kind of dilutes it, you know what I'm saying? But I love this, man. It's fucking awesome, man. Mystic Force. What a great band. Now this one's kind of like an old friend that I just got reunited with. I had this back in the 80s, and I let it go because I was like, man, why the hell did they put a fucking live album out after their first LP? But you know, something's a great record. I don't care what anyone says. The songs just have a different feel live. It's very well produced. You know, this was the first appearance also of the song Reign of Terror. And it contains lyrics which some people may find offensive. So, if you're very easily offended. Yeah, so anyway, I'm live at Eindhoven by Testament. It's really, I want to say it's a classic, but it's not a classic. The Legacy is a classic. But there's a really cool companion piece. I mean, I saw him like a few times right around this time. And, I don't know, man. Just good shit. Now here's another one that I'd heard was good. Repeatedly. From like different people. Including Martin Popoff, and so I found it really cheap, so I decided to give it a chance, and you know something? It sucks. It's a fucking piece of shit. I mean, they're called Kick Axe, that's why I never bought it before. Plus the singer, first of all, look at these wussy pictures, man. Look at that shit, right underneath the barcode, how appropriate is that, man? Look at that, look at this wuss over here, Jesus Christ, man. It looks like Michael Bolton or something like that. You know, and then it says, lead singer and inspiration. Yeah, man, they suck. I'm gonna go turn over this fucking record, and I'll tell you how much Kick Axe sucks. So here's the deal with Kick Axe. The first time I put this on, I was kind of hanging out on the couch and it was late and I was like half asleep. And I was kind of going, you know, this doesn't sound too bad. You know, this sounds a lot better than I expected. I was kind of digging it a little bit. Then I listened to it like a day or two later when I was actually awake. I was like, fuck, what a piece of shit. In a way, that's like exactly what this record is. It's like, if you're asleep, it's good. You know what I mean? Because it's just a fucking stupid record and it's like full of like shit. And like the songs are crap, and like the drums sound, like the drums are forward in the mix, that's why I wanted to like it, you know what I mean? I could hear like these drums, but they just have this fucking like shitty drum sound, and it's like, man, it just sucks. This fucking get showed Spencer Proffer or whatever who produced this shit. Well, whatever, man, I won't go in on that. But here's the thing. When you see this record, you go, oh, I've heard that record's good, but your spider sense tells you, you know, a band called Kick Axe is probably going to suck. Your spider sense is tingling correctly, man, because Kick Axe does, in fact, suck, man. I mean, I might be going after this a little too hard. I mean, it's not like the worst thing ever, you know? It's probably like a 3 out of 10, okay? But it's a piece of shit, man. It's like enjoyable for like a couple seconds per side or something like that. Now, this record right here is great. Alright, this is how we like purge the Kick Axe shit out of our system. I was really happy to get this one too, because I've been kind of hunting for it for a while. There's another UK one too, man. It's fucking UK heavy video. This is 88, this one. This is The Dead of Night by Mask. It's another EP. Fuck, man, the lighting is so bad in here. Here, I'll show off the label too, because it looks all primitive. This is just an awesome, it's funny, it's like kind of, it has like a speed metal sort of feel, but it isn't like speed metal. Like it's kind of mid-paced stuff. Look at that. RKT Records, right? I'll bet you one of the band members, that's their initials or something, you know. Whatever. Apparently not, but this record is just, I don't know, man, it just does it for me. The songs are all good, it rocks all the way through, you know what I mean? There's no bullshit. There are like some slow parts, but like they don't give themselves over the slow parts, you know what I mean? It's not like there's a ballad on the air, or anything like that. It's just, they just deliver the shit earnestly, man. It's fucking good shit, you know? It's, Yeah, recorded in Birmingham. I don't know, man. Birmingham bands seem to, that's just where the best shit comes from. So, yeah, so I was really stoked to get my hands on that. Here's another one I got that I've sort of been keeping my eye out for a while. This is the Candlemass live album. I don't think this actually came out on record at the time. This is, 1990. It might have been right on the edge there. I don't remember ever seeing this in 1990, though. I remember seeing the CD a little bit later. This is a relatively recent reissue, and it has a gatefold and shit, but it's not really worth opening up. This is basically, like, classic era sort of Messiah Marcolin Candlemass. I've heard that this isn't that great a live record from other Candlemass fans. I found it to be very enjoyable, but I could see why it could be perceived that way, because I'll bet if this had been recorded 2 or 3 years earlier, it would have been the hottest thing ever. But as it is, it sounds a little bit like the band was kind of coming apart, which it kind of was by then, you know what I mean? It kind of sounds like they might have played the songs a little bit too often, you know what I mean? Because it's well executed and shit, but it sounds like not completely fresh anymore. And it's a little bit of a bummer on that note. That said, I'm a big enough Candlemass fan that I dug the shit out of this record. And, I mean, I'm going to play this again. And it has some of my favorite songs on it. Mirror, Mirror Right Off. You know, Darker, The Veils of Death. I mean, this is just a cool... It's a really cool thing. But it's not a good introduction to Candlemass, I would say. It would still direct me to probably Nightfall. So, anyway. So I got one left, and that's this one. I was so happy to get this one, man. Bam! Manila Road, Out of the Abyss. And this is a Leviathan pressing that I got for a good price, I'm happy to say. That's a fucking funny t-shirt the dude's wearing there, too. Not my favorite band pick of these guys. And this is almost a speed metal record, and it's weird because Mark Shelton sounds really strange on this shit. Like he has a sort of, I don't know how to describe it. And then like it'll slow down and he'll sing and he sounds exactly like he did 5 years earlier, you know what I mean? But like when he's belting out like the faster shit, you know, it's funny because Manila Road has gone through so many different styles over the years. I mean, I did a feature video on them a while back, and obviously I didn't have this one yet. But this one is like Mystification, only the next step after that, you know what I mean? But even as they go through these different styles, it still doesn't quite sound like any band other than Manila Road. So yeah, this is a really cool record. There's a reissue from a relatively recent one on High Roller that sort of made this available again after being hard to find. I think someone found a box of them because I've seen a couple of these things turn up recently, and after not seeing them for less than like $80 for years. So yeah, man, that's the last one to show, and that's a good note to end it on because Manila Road is fucking fantastic. So until next time, cheers. Thanks for watching, and until next time. Feels like it's been forever, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Shit, I pressed the wrong fucking button. I have to figure out what I'm doing. This adds like an extra like 30 seconds to my video as we just swearing at the thing because I can't figure out how to turn it off. Alright, take it easy.